Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Nate and welcome to another TBR video. It's been a while, I took a couple more months off. Thank you guys so much for your lovely comments on my last video, which was my March TBR video, I believe. Yeah, I had a bit of a mental health dip and so I took a few months off. I'm feeling a bit better now and I really want to get back into making videos. I do have a little bit of a content update, but I'm going to put that at the end of this video. And instead I wanted to talk to you guys about my tentative TBR for the Amazing Readathon. This is a readathon that's happening in June. It's essentially inspired by the Amazing Race. There are different locations that you go to throughout the months. We do know the prompts for these locations. There are 8 different locations, so 8 prompts, but we do not know the order in which these will be released. I participated in this last year and had a really fun time with it, so I knew I was going to join again this year. I've joined Team Alonzi, which is hosted by Leandra the TBR0 and On Monica's Shelves, and each team does have bonus prompts that you get for reading certain books. I'm not really worrying about those for my team specifically. I will look at those like retrospectively after reading a book to see if I felt like the book fit. But I'm concentrating on the overall prompt bonus that everyone gets, which is to read books with LGBT rep in. It is June, it is Pride Month, and I never really concentrate on reading Pride books for June, so I've decided this year to do that. So I've managed to get all of the books that I'm hoping to fit in for these prompts to have some kind of LGBT rep in them. This readathon, I don't actually think I said, is hosted by Bree from 4 Paws in a Book. She created it, she hosted it. It takes a lot of part on Discord, so you do have to join Discord to take part in it. But yeah, I had such a good time last year, so definitely wanted to join in this year. So let's go through the 8 books that definitely fit the prompts, and then I have a bunch of other books that are tentative ones that could be thrown in to fit in for sightseeing prompts, for extra prompts, for bonus prompts, all sorts. So 2 of the books I don't actually own. One of them is for the prompt, a book that you don't own. So this was a perfect chance to do this. This is a book prompt to kind of highlight your library in some way. And so I went onto my library, I went onto their like LGBT section, just was browsing through, and I found this book called They. This is a book that is from the 70s, but it's apparently a kind of dystopian book that was kind of, it says it on my bar box, it said it was like lost to time and only recently rediscovered. It's a very short book as well. It's less than a 3-hour audiobook, so I thought this would be perfect to fit in to try and maybe catch up if I'm falling behind a little bit. But yeah, it's a dystopian. I don't know much more else about it, to be honest with you, but I thought very short, interesting, dystopian. I'll put this one on. So this is going to be the one that I probably will definitely read for a book that I don't own, especially seeing as it will take me less than 3 hours to do, and so will be great for catching up because we don't know when these prompts are dropping. I hope this one doesn't drop first, and it would be great if this one drops later, and if I am a bit behind, this then would really help me catch up. The other one that I don't own is a booktuber recommended video. So Bree did a video where she recommended a bunch of different LGBT books. I went on that and this was one she recommended for a different prompt, but I'm going to put it in because she recommended it, and that is A Psalm in the Wild build, I believe it's called, by Becky Chambers. This is again quite a short one. I think it's about less than 5-hour audiobook, and I believe it's quite a cozy fantasy about a monk and a robot, I believe. I don't know much more else than that, but again, just a really short one. This will help me catch up and will be like a nice little breather from some of the books that I have, because I do have 6 books that I would love to try and physically read, so these 2 audiobooks are going to help me pump me along in that sense. So the rest of the prompts. So for A Book with a Holiday, in that video, Bree mentioned this as one that apparently has a holiday in it, so I took it and ran with it because I wasn't really in the mood to read a Christmas book, and that is Cleat Cute by Mary Wilsner. Apparently this has Mardi Gras in it. I will be honest, don't really know what that is. It's not really a holiday in the UK, but it's a holiday, so I'm going to take it and run with it. So yeah, this is hopefully the book that I read for that. This is a women's football, American soccer book following 2 women that end up joining the same team. I don't know much else about it, but other than that, based on the cover. Some of these are quite romancy, and I'm not the biggest back-to-back romance reader. I tend to read romancing very occasionally, so I'm hoping that I can pace myself quite nicely with these romances and that I don't feel like not wanting to read them because there's lots of romances. But this will be the book for book involving a holiday. A book with an isolated setting. I'm going to read Something Wild and Wonderful. This is by Anita Kelly. This is a romance about 2 men that meet in hiking, so very isolated setting off some Pacific Crest Trail. One of the characters ends up saving the other in some way, and they keep bumping into each other along the trail, and yeah, they end up having a little bit of a romance. It seems very cute, very sweet, so I thought this would be a nice one to slot in for isolated setting. Again, hopefully not back to back with another one, because I think these 2 are the ones that are like more, no, actually there's 3 that are kind of more purely romance. Maybe actually there might be 4. Yeah, so basically I'm going to be reading a lot of romancy-based books in June, which is not my usual, but hopefully it works out okay for me. But yeah, this one is going to be for isolated setting. For a book with mental health rep, I'm going to read The Hen Awards. This is by Abida Joy Grinder. I have read another book by this author, Honey and Issues Guide to Fake Dating. That had mental health rep in it, and I have looked up, and this one does. This deals a lot with bullying and struggling with your identity. This is a YA book, and it is about 2 girls that are quite from different backgrounds. In the other book that I read from her, it will both one of the characters was Muslim and it was set in Ireland, which I think is where the author lives and is raised. So I'm interested to see if this has that kind of similar background as well. I did really enjoy Hannah Inish's Guide to Fake Dating. It was very sweet. It had a lot of like heart to it, and it was very endearing. And I feel sometimes like YA has that more balance. And so yeah, I think I've really enjoyed this one. I think it will be quite sweet, and I am really looking forward to it. So that is going to be the one for mental health rep. So moving away from purely romancy ones, I'm for building on the cover, I'm going to be reading You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kailin Bayron. This says girlfriend on the back, so which is why I'm putting it in. But yeah, I think this is a horror. It's a very short one as well, so I think this would be a great one to catch up with. I'm hoping it's really fast paced as well. I think it's a YA horror about summer camp, and yeah, I think someone's going around killing someone. I'm not sure. I'm not really looking into much about these books because I'm going to be reading them very soon, so don't want to give like too much information so that it's very fresh and new. But yeah, I think this would be really interesting. It's been on my radar for a bit, and I saw it. I went into the works. I did break my book buying ban just a little bit. It's been the first time in 5 months I've bought some books, but I just needed to buy something, and this was one of the books there. And yeah, it is tiny, so I think I should be able to get to this no problem, and I'm really looking forward to it. I really enjoy reading horror. I don't read it too much, but when I do read it, I really enjoy it. So I'm hoping that this one is very fast paced, very bingeable, and something I really enjoy. And it has like a little cabin on the back there. For a book with a preposition in the title, I'm going to read Stars in Your Eyes. This is by Kason Calendar. This is a romance about two movie stars that end up having to work on a film together. One of them is a bit of a bad boy, one of them is an up-and-coming star, and yeah, I'm guessing they kind of clash heads, but eventually they fall in love or something. I have read Felix of Arthur by this author, which you can kind of see there behind me. I didn't love that book, to be completely honest. I know loads of people really hype it up, especially for like the rep in it. I didn't love it. It's still on my shelves, but I didn't love that book. So I want to give it a try to see if I feel like it, but I feel it's a different genre. I think this is an adult, where that one was a YA, but I feel like if I don't like this book, maybe Kason Calendar just isn't an author for me, but I think that would be good to try and see what I feel about it. But yeah, this one, I think it's going to have a bit more drama, a bit more like Hollywood drama, so it'll be a bit different from like other romance that I'll be tending to read. Yeah, see what I think about it. But yeah, this is going to be for preposition in the title. And then lastly, for the physical books that I have is a book with multi-POV. For this one, I'm going to read All That's Left in the End of the World. This is by Eric J. Brown, and I believe this is a YA dystopian romance, I think, about two boys that end up finding each other at the end of the world and trying to survive, I guess. Really don't know much about it, but yeah, again, this one has a bit of a little different element from the other romances, so I think this one will be quite nice. Again, I think it's YA. It's one I've owned for a while as well, so I think I would like to get to it and see what I think about it. And all of these books are all pretty like under 350, I think. I don't think any of them are that long, so I'm really hoping I am able to get them. I'll be able to listen to a little bit of the audiobook, I think, for most of them. None of them are on BookBeat, none of them are from my library, but I do have Spotify, so I might be able to dip in and out a little bit with some of them for Spotify, but for the most part, it's going to probably be physically read books for all of these 6, so I'm hoping I am able to get to them. So yeah, that is all the books that I have for the specific prompts. However, in the Amazing Readathon, if you get your book done finished early before the next leg of the race, you do have sightseeing prompts that you can do. So I have a stack of other books next to me that I'm most likely not going to get to, but I might try and get to some of them for sightseeing prompts. So I'm just going to go through them very quickly because there is a huge stack. I basically pulled out every other kind of LGBT kind of rep book that I have, some non-fiction, and yeah, I'm going to see what we can do. I'd like to at least read one of the non-fiction, I think, throughout the month. And this is the stack, so like there's no way we're getting to all of these. So I have Jack and Eve. This is a non-fiction book about two women during the World War One. Two women in love and at war. Non-fiction, I think this would be quite an interesting read. I have This Book Is Gay by James Dawson. This one I've had for ages, and I think it's one that I probably would have enjoyed more as a teenager, kind of exploring my identity, but I think it's probably more aimed at that. I'm not quite sure what it's about, but I think it will be interesting to read. I'd actually like to get to it because I have owned it for freaking years, so I'd like to see what it is about. Will it be this month? I don't know, but we'll see. Again, that's a non-fiction-y kind of book. This one is a relatively newer into my TBR, and that is Queer as Folklore, talking about folklore and the different queer undertones and stuff there is, the hidden queer histories of myths and monsters. I think that'll be quite interesting. Again, some of these I might just read little bits of as well, which wouldn't work towards any sightseeing prompts because I think you have to complete the books, but like just for the sake of reading Pride books, I might end up reading little bits of some of these books because they're not ones you have to really read, I guess, cover to cover. But yeah, I do want to get to some of these books eventually, so maybe just dipping my toe in is going to be a bit better than trying to like commit to the books. And then I have The Transgender Issue by Sean Feng. I've had this one for ages and I have started it, and I do really want to read this one. I know I can get the audiobook for this from my library. This is about the transgender history, specifically in England, which yeah, at the moment isn't great. It's not going great in England for trans people, so it would be interesting to read this, see kind of some of the history and where we are to where we are now. Although I guess it was going to be a little bit outdated because of some of the recent laws that have gone on in the UK. Yeah, which is depressing, but I think this will be a really interesting read. It's just, again, I think it's going to be quite a heavy read, so it's one that I I need to kind of like judge when I feel like it's going to be a good time for me to read it. Then this one is a chunky book, so I don't see myself really getting into it, but it's The Pink Line. This is The World's Queer Frontier. It is from refugees in South Africa to activists in Egypt, transgender women in Russia, and the transition in teens in America Midwest. The Pink Line folds intimately and deeply affectionate stories of individuals, families, and communities into a definitive account of how LGBTQ rights became one of the world's new human rights frontiers of the second decade of the 21st century. Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but yeah, it is a bit of a chunky book. So again, might just dip my toe in and start reading some of this throughout the month. Then into some of the fiction books, I have Stag Dance. This is by Tori Peters. This is 4 short stories, I believe, in this. The author, I believe, is transgender, and I think they are all going to have some kind of trans representation in this. But again, I might just try and, if anything, read one of the stories in here throughout the month, which I might then see if I can count for points if it's like, I guess, a novella. I'll see how that works out. But yeah, I've had this one for about a year or so now, so I would like to at least try and start reading this. I'm not the biggest short story fan though. I bought this before I actually looked into it and realized it was short stories, but I do want to at least give it a go. In terms of that as well, I have this Trans Love. This is an anthology of different representation of like poems, stories, small like little tidbits from different trans voices. I have started this before, so I am a little bit of the way into it, so I'd like to at least carry on with this and yeah, keep working my way through it throughout the month. Then fiction wise, I do have Afterlove by Tanya Byrne, which was initially on the book prompts, but I ended up switching it out just because it is a bit thicker, but this would be fun to get to. It is about I think it's a YA sapphic book about 2 teenagers, and I believe one of them dies and is trying to claw her way back from the afterlife to reunite with her girlfriend. Yeah, but it was just slightly bigger, so I thought I would leave this one out of the kind of hopeful TBR, and then if I do hopefully get to it, I do, but if not, yeah, it'd be nice to get to. And then I do have a couple of graphic novels that I could put slot on. I have Breaks. This is one my sister got me, I think this recent Christmas. Okay, so it says, the enemies to lovers queer webcomic sensation, a love story that's a little bit broken. So yeah, like to maybe try and read that. If I like it and it is somewhere available online, I could always carry on with it, or I could try and like pick up the other volumes. And then I do have, which I believe is in Manhwa, Cherry Blossoms After Winter. Again, this I think my sister got me for Christmas. And it's like, despite growing up together, these childhood friends have grown apart. And this one's quite nice. It is in colour as well, which is quite cute. So these ones would be perfect for fitting in for sightseeing prompts. You do get points for graphic novels and manga. You just like halve them because obviously how much quicker they take you to read. Those were a bunch of the other books that are hopefuls. Am I going to get to all of them realistically? No. No, I'm not. But I would like to hopefully get to a few of them throughout the month. And just, even if I don't end up counting them for the Amazing Readathon, just kind of for Pride Month in general. I've never really intentionally read only Pride books for June, so I would like to do that. I do have a book that I will definitely be reading for a book club book, which is Recursion by Blake Crouch, which doesn't fit in at all, but I will be listening to that audiobook-wise, so that's fine. If you guys are participating, please do let me know what team you're on, all of that. I would love to know. So a little bit of a content update. If you're following my channel, I have been missing for a few months, having a bit of a mental health break, I'll be honest. Still not great, but it is better, and I am feeling good, which I always feel like I do always in a bit of summer and have always a bit of a dip in winter. Yeah, I am feeling a bit better. It's still not great, but I am feeling better. I have decided though, going forward at the moment for my channel, I'm not going to be doing set monthly TBRs. I'll be doing TBRs like this, tentative TBRs for readathons that I'm hoping to participate in, but I think doing set TBRs just kind of like felt like I was restricting myself a little bit in terms of content, because I have so many little ideas that I want to do for randomly picking books for like vlogs, or for like I have a bunch of short content ideas that I want to do. So I think I'm going to do that for now. My TBR game still exists. I am still going to be doing it, but I think I'm going to do it instead in a kind of vlog format where I read a book as I go. I've already started the first one, but that way I can then dip in and out. It could take me 3 months to do one video for that while I'm doing a bunch of other ideas at the same time. So that is kind of how I think I'm going to go forward, just for now anyway, at least while I'm trying to get back into doing YouTube, because I do want to get back into doing YouTube. I have really missed it. I've had all these ideas and I've started a few things and then they've just been completely abandoned. But yeah, I'm hoping to do that going forward. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of give that an update though, so it doesn't just kind of disappear and I never mentioned it again. And yeah, hoping to get back into the flow of YouTube going in forward in June. I have some ideas, I have some plans, I just need to start doing them. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you again hopefully soon. Bye guys.